Hey there, Matt Travis coming to you at The Potential You. Today on our 21 life transformation tips for 2021, we are in day 5, and what we're focused on today is don't let circumstances dictate your life and the results and things that you get. So don't let your circumstances dictate your life. So many of us, and I know this was me personally, so many of us let our thoughts, our stories, the things that we tell ourselves, our feelings, run our life, right? Here's examples, and I know this has happened to me many times. It's like, you're like, tomorrow I'm gonna go and exercise, I'm gonna finally start that exercise habit that I've always wanted to take on. Tomorrow's the day, and then tomorrow comes and you wake up and you roll over and you're like, oh, it's too cold and I don't feel like it, right? Your feelings then dictate whether you do or don't do something. And it's because it's uncomfortable. It's not what you are used to. You don't have that habit built in and made part of your identity yet. So you have to become uncomfortable. We have to become uncomfortable with this situation and be comfortable with being uncomfortable is really what I mean. Okay, so you have to be comfortable with being uncomfortable, and you got to get past that feeling. And let's use healthy eating for example. You're like, oh, we're getting takeout, and I could get a salad, but I don't feel like it. I feel like eating a pizza tonight, right? And nothing against pizza, I just am giving examples, right? So it's also, you're like, I don't feel like it. And then therefore it's not helping the habit of healthy eating for yourself. So you go into your circumstance, right? Building a business, you're like, oh, I should be reaching out and connecting and networking with people on a regular basis, but I don't feel like it. Now, a bigger question with all of these is, why don't you feel like it? Partly it's your subconscious habits, right? It's not something that you're used to. But there might also be a block around why you don't feel like it, or you're deathly afraid to connect and talk to people. And I help people with that. We'll talk about that at the end. But it comes down to this. It's like, stop letting those circumstances and your feelings and your stories hold you back, because it's just stopping you. And it's not going to get you what you want in 2021. Because all we are doing every single day is perceiving, right? So like whenever we want to change something, we have a perception. This seems hard. It seems difficult. I don't feel like it, right? There's that perception of whatever it is. And then we interpret it. Because it seems hard and we're not used to it, we're like, I can't do this. Or this is something that I'm not good at. We have an interpretation. And we are giving a meaning and feeling that we are feeling bad, right? So the meaning that you put to the situation is, I feel bad, okay? I don't feel comfortable. And that's where a lot of us, I don't know if you are like me, but I've dealt with the procrastination habit on a big scale, and I broke through it because I started to realize procrastination was just me moving. It was a way of, it was a coping mechanism. It moved me away from stressful and painful and uncomfortable situations that were ultimately going to make my life better. I don't know if you can relate, but the thing is, it's when you're feeling bad, this is what I want you to do. Next time you feel bad or uncomfortable or uncertain or whatever it is, you need to just stop and acknowledge it. Step 1, stop and acknowledge it. And acknowledge that you're feeling bad because of an interpretation that you're making, right? This is hard. I can't do this. I'm not good enough. Whatever it is. There's an interpretation that you're making, so stop and acknowledge that interpretation. Okay, the second thing is, what is the interpretation that you're making? So number 1 is stop and acknowledge it. Number 2 is, what is the interpretation? What is your interpretation that you're making in that particular scenario that's causing you to not move forward into what you want in the next year? And then, what is a new story and interpretation that's going to empower you? So that's the third one. What is a new story and interpretation that will empower you this coming year that you can start to change and reframe, right? Here's an example. Let's go back to the waking up and exercising, right? The interpretation was, it's hard, I don't want to, I don't feel like it, right? It's not something I'm used to, I'm not, I'm out of shape. There's a lot of interpretations that you may make when you're trying to do that. So let's make a new one. The interpretation is, I'm not there yet, and when I get up today and I get up tomorrow and I get up the next day and I keep doing it, I'm going to get better and I'm going to get stronger and I'm going to feel a lot better in my life. Completely different interpretation, right? This is going to help me instead of this is going to hurt me and it's going to be uncomfortable. So starting to talk to your mind and letting it know that this is what you want, because your mind learns by repetition. So those are the top three things, and really the main point that you need to get from this particular video today is nothing in life has any meaning except for the meaning that you give it. So nothing in life has any meaning except for the meaning that you give it. So this past year, I became a rapid transformation therapist, and I started to realize that most of what my job is to go in and look at and regress people to memories and figure out what the meanings and feelings they put to a specific scene in their life. And then what we do is we separate the two and we create new, more empowering meanings and beliefs and new subconscious empowering beliefs that are going to really help people unblock themselves and finally get what they want. And it all comes back to those meanings, the things that are stopping people, right? The meanings, the circumstance, the feelings, the thoughts, all of this stuff that's stopping us. And it will keep stopping you unless you acknowledge it, stop and acknowledge it, and figure out what the interpretation is, and then create a new empowering one. And if you need support with that, and you feel like you need some deeper subconscious work, we can always work that out, right? It's just connect with me. And then on top of that, like I've shared with you the past couple days, there's a free workshop that I do called the Empowered Entrepreneur Life, where we go through all of this stuff in a much deeper level to help you really uncover the unconscious beliefs that you have and help you establish these new habits that are going to finally get you moving in the right direction. So if you feel like that's something that you need or want, comment below and we'll make sure you get in that and get the support and coaching that you need. So remember, like always, keep showing up, take an action, and you will get results. Don't let circumstances dictate it for you. And we will see you tomorrow in day number 6. If you're still with us, way to go. So we'll be back in day number 6 and keep growing and keep getting ready for this new coming year. Have a great day.